Welcome to Razzball Radio for Tuesday, June 10th. I am your host, Nick Capozzi. You can follow me on Twitter at NICKCAPOZZI or ZZI if you're in Canada. You know, whatever floats your boat. We got a ton going on today. We're going to talk to Sky about some deep leaguers. We got Guru coming on to play Jam or Cram. And Mike from Razzball is also going to talk about some guys that you can go and pick up off the waiver wire if you need steal help. So let's get right to it because I just don't have time right now. So without further ado, here he is. Our in-house Northwest pacifist, Sky. Welcome to Razzball Radio, brother.
Peace.
All right, nice of you to join us today. We're going to get right into it because a lot to get to. We're going to talk some deep leaguers right now with Sky. You can follow him on Twitter at Sky_Razzball because apparently Northwest Hippie was no longer available as a Twitter handle. Deep League bat, Sky, right off the bat.
Yeah.
The bat. Talk to me about Ryan Wheeler, because, I mean, we're really getting deep league here if we're talking about Ryan Wheeler. No disrespect to the Wheeler family.
Yeah, no disrespect to the Wheeler family, but I am going to disrespect the Weiss family. I do apologize in advance.
What did Walt Weiss ever do to you?
Well, he didn't start him last night, for starters, when he should have. Gavin Floyd's terrible against lefties, and he still sat Wheeler. So that's why I was going to start this whole thing off saying this is either going to make me sound like a genius or an idiot, because the caveat is Walt Weiss.
Well, stop dropping big words here, okay? This is not some university campus.
I can tell from how close we are you have caveats too. No, I'm just kidding. What? Anyway, so what we have here is Kadire is going on the DL. He's the one that's been mainly subbing in at third with Arenado on the DL. And they did call up Ryan Wheeler. He's a left-handed bat. And going forward, I can't imagine them going with Charlie Culberson day in and day out. So Ryan Wheeler could easily get third base eligible if he's not already and play at least for 6 to 8 weeks is the sounding of what Kadire's on. So you have that available. It's also it's a Rockies bat. It's hard to say no to that. Lefties are usually at the top or at or near the top of home runs, triples, and doubles charts for hitters. So he's got about a 12 to 15 home run pop in his bat with a 270 to 280 average. In deep leagues, that plays really well, especially if you're in deep need.
Okay, I wonder if you can have like negative percentage ownership. Of course, Carglass is also having exploratory surgery on his finger.
Yeah.
What? Look at the size of a finger. How do you have exploratory surgery on that? That doesn't make sense to me. Okay, sticking. I was going to say sticking to the outfield, but no, because Wheeler's a third bagger. Alejandro De Aza of the White Sox de Chicago. ¿Qué pasa?
Yeah, it was kind of a weird year for him when it started off. His job was a little bit up in the air. I didn't really understand it.
Kind of like yours.
Yeah, I figured this was a one and done. No, coming into the season, Avisail was starting in right. You had Eaton in center, and De Aza and Viciedo were supposed to split at bats in left field. De Aza started off extremely cold, but since then, Avisail's gotten hurt. Eaton was hurt for a little bit, but he's back. And Viciedo caught fire. The guy was hitting well over 300 for a while. Definitely not in line with what he has done for his career, but now that's changing. Dan is reverting. Normally he hits only well against lefties. That's what he's been doing of late, and he's been getting sat against a lot of righties. And in has come De Aza. And in fact, over his last 15 games, Alejandro is hitting 320 with a home run and 2 steals. He's not a huge power bat, but he's definitely in line for still having a 10-30 season, which is a reasonable grab.
It's Starling Marte Lights.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
With 260, maybe 270 average still on the horizon.
Yeah, and I think that's what kind of hitter he is. He's a 260, 270 hitter with some sneaky counting stats. He's useful. He was great for me on a lot of teams last year. I think if you throw out the first month of the season.
Yeah, and with a healthy walk rate, that'll definitely help out, especially in getting those steal counts up.
All right. So, we got a couple deep league pitchers here to look at. So I tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Here's the deal, Sky. It's non-negotiable. You can talk about one and then give me a real quick recap on the other. Who do you want to start with?
Let's go. Well, fine. Let's go Jaime Garcia.
Jaime.
Yeah. So Jaime Garcia he's forever going to be a rental. I'm definitely not saying you need to stay on this bandwagon. It's his injury history, but when he is healthy, which he is right now, he's performing really well. On the season, he has an 8.67 K to base on ball ratio, which is pretty elite.
Yeah, no doubt.
And he's also got a 2.86 xFIP and a reasonable K rate that's over 7/9. He's got a great home ballpark, and he pitches in the NL, so those are all pluses for him. He should be able to stabilize the back end of your staff. We're not talking, an SP3 here, but maybe an SP5 or an SP6, which in deeper leagues is very useful if they can hold down your ratios well without killing them. And he's under 20% owned in both ESPN and Yahoo leagues. So, but again, he's forever a rental because we all know he'll get hurt again.
All right, let me ask you this as a question. What do Anibal Sanchez, Cole Hamels, and Adam Wainwright have in common over the last 30 days?
Oh, geez, that's a tough one. No, that would be they are behind Tanner Roark on the Yahoo Player Rater for pitchers.
Walk.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but yeah, he's outpitched all three of those guys over the last 30 days. Numbers have been great. His xFIP does say that he's due for regression. It's sitting at around 3.73, and his ERA is 2.91 right now. But he's, again, like Jaime Garcia, keeps his walk rates low, and so he's not somebody that's going to really hurt you in the end. He'll just wait for that hiccup that will come, and the owners that have him now will probably dump him. You can go pick him back up and hold on to him for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I've kind of come around on him. He might even be viable in some mixed leagues.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of Ks there. Okay, let's be honest. No. But there's also not a lot of starting pitchers with UCLs left. So that's
exactly
the kind of year it's been.
Yeah.
So, Sky, here's what I'm going to suggest. We'll probably see you back here on Thursday. In the meantime, go have some trail mix and some craft beers, and try not to wear socks and sandals.
And everything tofu.
Oh, tofu. Actually, I don't like tofu.
Yeah.
And what?
And tempeh? I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm trying to do the hippie part. I'm not.
Isn't that a city in Arizona, Tempe?
I like steak.
All right, get out of here, Sky. All right, Sky, thanks for joining us today on Razzball Radio. We'll be right back with the Guru, our resident dirtbag, and we'll play a little Jam It or Cram It. And with the power of technology, we're able to go across the continent from the Pacific Northwest all the way to Bahaba, Maine. It is our resident rock and roller out of controller, the Guru. Guru, welcome to Razzball Radio, my man.
Mr. Capozzi, how are you, sir? It's good to be on. It's a happy day for you, Guru, because not only are we on Fantasy Sports Network, but my uber man crush, Gregory Polanco, has finally been called up by those Pirates to save my fantasy season.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But what is going to happen is we're going to play our little buy-sell game here, which we call Jam or Cram, because, of course, the Guru is our resident radio disc jockey. You can follow him on Twitter at TheGuruGS. Let's get right to it, man. Talk to me about Gregory Polanco. Let the hype train begin.
Yes, let it begin, and let's give a big thanks to Neil Walker's exploding appendix, making the way for my man crush of Polanco to make it to the big leagues. All right, he's owned in about 60% of leagues right now. Let's make it 100% by the time we get off the air here.
Come
all right?
on.
Yeah, let's do it. If you're in a league where you have to bid on free agents, this one is going to cost you. I put a bid in on him a couple of weeks ago for $35, which I thought was pretty high, but I wanted the guy. I lost him to another guy who spent his entire $100 budget on Polanco. So if you want him, it's going to cost you, and it may be worth it. We're looking at a top 10 overall fantasy prospect here. We're talking immediate impact in average, home runs, stolen bases. If you're in an OBP league, he's going to help you there. We're talking about a potential young Barry Bonds 30-30 type of season here.
Okay. We're going to have to hold back on this hype just a little bit. Tell me how you really feel here, Guru. What are you talking? Okay, listen, I'm going to save the suspense here. I got a feeling he's a jam But what's your rest of season line here on Polanco, brother?
Well, I'm looking over his minor league numbers, and between 3 levels in the minors last season, he hit 12 homers, 71 RBI, stole 38 bases in 127 games. That's last year.
Okay.
62 games this year. He has 86 hits, 17 doubles, 5 triples, 7 homers, 49 RBI, 15 steals. He's hitting 347. The OPS is 945. I better calm down here, man, or I'm gonna have to change my pants. You know, Polanco is a jam. I'll be real. I'll be a realistic.
I'll be honest with you, Guru. We've been doing this for a couple of years. I have never seen you this excited over a prospect call-up. All right, give me what's his batting average, home runs, RBIs, runs, stolen bases, rest of the year, real quick.
All right, I'll try to keep the turban on here and be realistic. Let's go 10 to 15 homers the rest of the way, 10 to 15 steals, and let's shoot for a 280, 290 average. I think that's pretty conservative.
I tell you what, I'll be watching the Pirates tonight, which is not something I've said a lot this year.
Polanco is a jam.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, let's move this along because otherwise it's going to become the Gregory Polanco show. Brock Holt of your Red Sox, que pasa?
Brock Holt's been about the only good thing going for the Red Sox these days. They're winning about a game a week, which is, that's great. They've gone from the outhouse to the penthouse down to the flop house. Holt is another player that makes me kind of excited here. He came up to the Sox because of injuries. There's no way he's headed back down I-95 to Pawtucket. 115 at-bats, he's hitting 339. He's got 16 runs, a homer, 13 RBI, some steals. He's hitting at the top of the order. He'll give you a few stolen bases. He can help with average. First base, third base eligible, playing some outfield. Brock Holt is a jam.
All right, good stuff. In deep leagues, talk to me about Eugenio Suarez.
Oh, Eugenio. The Tigers, they keep...
I'm only half Italian. Easy, okay?
The Tigers, they keep looking for a shortstop. Is Alan Trammell, is he doing anything these days? So they signed up. Yeah, I don't know either. They signed up Suarez when he was a teenager a few years back. Not that highly regarded a prospect. He was their 8th ranked. Yeah, he got the call up over the weekend. He was hitting about 300 at AAA. Now, he hit 2 home runs in his first 11 at-bats. Pretty good. If he hits 2 more over the next month, I'll deep fry my turban and eat it with a side of ranch dressing. It's a cram.
All right, let's talk about a Sagnoff special. Of course, if you're not familiar with the Razzball terminology, just go to razzball.com, click on tools, the glossary's right there, because we've been around for 5-6 years now. We've got our own little verbiage and lingo. Sagnoff is either steals or saves, ain't got no face. So talk to me, our Sagnoff special today, Danny Santana. What is the story with Mr. Santana?
I've been rolling Santana out there in daily leagues because, 1, he's so cheap, you can fit him in there.
Yep.
And 2...
4 swipes in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2, he keeps producing. I mean, he's seen time at short, center field, designated hitter a couple times, hitting 373. But the batting average on balls and plays is over 450, which is a crazy number. I do like the steals, and if you're hungry for stolen bases, he's worth a look. He had 30 last year at Double-A. He's a Sagnoff jam.
All right, good stuff. And real quick here, one starter, Gavin Floyd. Don't go too much into it, but real quick, mixed league, let's say 12 teams. Is he a jam or a cram, Guru?
Well, he looked pretty good last night. He pitched in the 7th inning, gave up 3 hits and a run at Coors Field. Slow clap here. Give him the Cy Young right now. It's his first win since 2012. The ERA is at 2.57, but the WHIP is up around 1.4. Something's not jiving here. If you're going to whip that high, the ERA shouldn't be under 3. Just ask Justin Verlander. And, hitters are batting about 300 against him. He gets the Angels on Saturday. I'm not buying. It's a cram.
All right, good stuff. Now, Guru, here's what I want you to do. I want you to sit back, relax, maybe have a cider, and you got to calm down a bit because this Polanco thing's just we've just taken it to the next level. All right,
I got the vapors.
again, that is the Guru. Follow him on Twitter at the Guru GS. And you know what, Guru, we're out of here because we got to shoot to another part of the country. Right after this, we'll be back with Mike. We're going to talk about some steals. Okay, and now we find ourselves somewhere in the backwoods of Ohio, joined by Mike from Razzball, our Sagnoff. That's our saves and steals guy. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Nick.
Oh, you're excited to be here today, I can tell. You should do what Sky does, just have a cup of coffee as we're chit-chatting. All right, you can follow Mike at 643ball. If you do have sales, why am I stuck? I'm merging the words. If you do have steals or saves questions, he's the guy. But today we're going to focus on steals. Let's start off with a guy who is red hot right now, James Jones of the Seattle Mariners. What's the deal with him? Can we expect more thefts from Mr. Jones?
Yeah. He's hitting at the top of the Mariners lineup, which is always a good thing. So he's either leading off or in that 2-hole, and he's got 7 on the year now. Picked up, I think, 2 or 3 in the past week, and he's also hitting pretty well. He's hitting like around 300 for the past week or so. So he's kind of like on the borderline of like a deep league only guy, but maybe sort of like possibly look at him in 12-team mixed leagues if you really need an outfielder with some speed. He stole like 25 to 30 bases in the minors each year, so you could probably say, maybe 20 steals, 25 steals in the majors is a possibility. So I'd definitely give him a look.
Okay. Also, too, I should point this out. There's a really good tool. I mean, all the tools at Razzball are great. If you haven't been there yet, go to razzball.com. Under tools, we got the Hittertron, the Streaminator, but also there is stolen base rates versus starting pitchers. Correct, Mike?
Yeah.
We need a cool name for that tool. Maybe we'll call it
kind of like the Sagnoff tool.
The Thefty or something. I don't know. We'll work on that. But you can use that to your advantage going forward. Mike, talk to me about Jonathan Vallar.
Yeah. I seem to be in the minority of still liking this guy because he's really struggled lately. Just not hitting for a good average, not hitting for much pop anymore, but he did steal 7 bags in May, and that's worth something. And for the purposes of my column each week, I really just focus on steals. So Vallar is a guy that if you need steals and you're hurting at middle infield, I still think he's one of the better options out there, and people are giving up on him. I mean, he's getting dropped all over the place, and rightly so, because he's not doing much, across the board. But I think rest of the season, he's still a guy that could put up some good steals numbers and help out at middle infield.
What do you do when you're in a position? I'm in one league right now where I'm dead last in steals, and I have, a few players, quite a few players that have some pop and some steals, which is kind of traditionally how I'll roll out my lineup. Very rarely do I have kind of pure steal guys in my lineup. There are no Juan Pierres in my life.
Yeah.
What do you do if you're dead last in steals, Mike? You got any ideas for that?
If you're in a daily league, you can mix and match. There's a few pitchers out there, John Lackey, Anibal Sanchez, Cole Hamels, AJ Burnett, that give up a lot of stolen bases. So you can mix and match against guys like that. If you're in a daily league, you could go after guys on the wire. There's still some guys out there like Craig Gentry. He's got 11 steals, which is just as much as Coco Crisp right now.
Yep.
And he'll platoon in and out of the outfield. Daily matchups, waiver wire. You could trade for a guy, but I don't like to trade for just one category, especially something like steals. If I was dead last in steals, and honestly, I actually in my cash league, I'm in 10th place in steals. I'm like 5 out of the next couple points up. So what I did was I sent a buy low offer to a guy for Austin Jackson, who I think could swipe a few more this year. He had 2 attempts over the weekend and stole one. I picked up Coco Crisp off the wire after somebody dropped him because I like him for a lot of stolen bases.
Sure. I
I
think
think
there's a more important question here, Mike. How is our steals expert last in steals?
Because Sagnoff, man, I don't care about him. I just think there's so many opportunities to snag them. It's like closers. I mean, it's the same principle. I mean, you get a guy that just gives you a few for the week, and you move on. I mean, it's not a category that I'm.
A lot of
too,
jokes
like,
there. Not going to go there, but a lot of jokes there. What about Eric Young? This was a guy I was big on in the preseason. He got off to a great start. He was hitting leadoff for the Mets, got dinged up. Looks like he's not coming back. What's the deal?
Yeah, he felt pain in his hamstring or something in his hamstring still, and he's going to be shelved for a little while longer. So his playing time was starting to evaporate anyway. So, I mean, he's got 17, I think, on the year. And when he comes back, if he sees some playing time, I mean, he's worth a look. But at this point, those type of leg injuries, especially hamstrings, especially lingering ones that he can't seem to shake, I don't know. It's just kind of a worry when there's other guys out there you could be focused on.
All right, fair enough. Now, for those of you who are just discovering us here at Razzball, we are a fantasy baseball, fantasy football show. So this August, we're doing something absolutely nuts. We're going to host 32 fantasy football drafts in 32 straight days in all 32 pro football cities in America. It's not a joke. We're doing it from our Mercedes-Benz Sprinter studio. We're hitting the road. 10,000 miles in 32 days. You can get your tickets at razzballradio.com. The top banner right there has all the tour ticket info. But Mike, I know you're in Ohio now, but you're originally a Philly guy. So when we're in Philly, Pat or Geno's for the Philly cheesesteak?
Well, you know what? Honestly, I used to go to gyms.
Whoa.
Unfortunately.
Whoa. That's a curveball. That's a curveball.
But if I had to pick one of the two, I'd go Pats.
All right, Pat's. And when you order it, be honest with me here. It's Whiz Wit.
Yeah.
Right? Not can I get it with cheese whiz, please? It's and it's not even Wit Whiz, it's Whiz Wit. I don't get
the
that.
Onions. Yeah. Don't hold up the line, man. You'll get yelled at.
Yeah, Philadelphia's not a place I would want to hold up the line. All right, he is our steals and saves expert. Tweet this man up at 643ball. If you got questions about your Sagnoffs, about your steals, about your saves, about your Philadelphia cheesesteak restaurant, stuff like that, check us out, of course. Also, too, we got something really cool, guys. The Razzball Hot Sheet, everything you need to know about fantasy in 3 minutes. We email that out every day. You can follow at Raz, R-A-Z-Z, Hot Sheet on Twitter. All right, we're out of here. Mike, thanks for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully we'll track down Gray again from the Palm Springs Mama Coog's house. We're out. Gotta go.